Right now, on May 12th, Sunday late evening in Russia, the news are breaking out. We're seeing a shakeup in the holy grail of Putin's power scheme, the Siloviki. The leadership is being replaced, and the biggest change is in the Ministry of Defense. Are breaking up. Well, Sergei Shoigu was just fired. This is the biggest change since Russia invaded Ukraine in February of 2022. And this isn't the change of the underwater part of the iceberg of Russian high power games. We're seeing the tip of the iceberg, the visible part on top, crumbling. Howdy, everyone. My name is Konstantin. Welcome to Inside Russia, where usual Russia is explained by the unusual Russian. No propaganda, BS or lies here, only truth, common sense, and logic. And some emotions too, because I am a human being after all. Before I start, please be informed that my live streams always consist of 3 parts. Main message about 30 minutes or so, then the live stream chat where we discuss and share opinions, and we finish with prayer. And boy, there will be lots of discussions after I'm done with the message. You're welcome to watch any part of the live stream, whatever you like. Well, let's do it. Changes. Let me remind you, I've been saying that the big changes would be coming after inauguration of Putin, and they are here. And there's a simple explanation. You know, I'm not a magician or anything. I just apply common sense and logic. So there's a very simple explanation. The changes are needed because everything is not going according to the plan. Folks, look past this facade of official explanations, official news, and official propaganda. Look past this facade of these changes. I invite you to really understand what's happening. Do it with me right now. So things are happening right now. The news are breaking. Big changes in Russian political leadership are being announced as I speak. On Sunday evening, almost night, well, guess what? The leaders of the new government are announced. Let me remind you how Russian official political leadership works. Okay, there is the president, the head of the state, the czar, the dark lord, call him whatever you like. He has concentrated the absolute power, unofficially, of course. Officially, he's just, the head of the state. He calls the shots. He decides of what direction Russia goes to. He is basically the boss. This is not a democracy, I remind you. That's completely different. That's totalitarianism. Officially, he is the head of the state. He's the president. And officially, there are 3 other branches of power in Russia. The legislative branch, the Supreme Court, and the executive branch. The executive branch we usually call the government. And we're going to be talking about the government today. The government is headed by the prime minister. Under the prime minister, there are vice prime ministers and federal ministers. And then, each federal minister heads the ministry, obviously. That is a formal structure. Informally, there are 2 major parts of the government. I call them the doves and the hawks. The hawks are Siloviki, the Siloviki, those government agencies who have the power to use violence against Russian citizens. They are real power in the country. Every Siloviki agency is well armed. Any agency can stage a coup d'etat or protect the president in case of other agencies staging coup d'etat. The doves are those, everyone else, those who do things with no violence. Social issues, healthcare, education, economy, social policies, and so forth. Those who don't use violence. Now, per Russian constitution, the government is dismissed right before the inauguration of a new president. The first thing new president does is he proposes a new prime minister candidate to the Russian parliament. And Russian parliament, according to procedure, discusses and then approves or disapproves. And then the prime minister proposes the ministers. The first part, was done. Vladimir Putin proposed the new prime minister right after the Victory Day parade. So basically the next workday, May 9th. No, I'm sorry, May 10th. He proposed a new candidate, the old candidate, Mikhail Mishustin, the prime minister, who had been the prime minister the previous term from 2020, who replaced Dmitry Medvedev on that position. I forecasted this, I didn't know anyone else doing that, but I, look at the community post. I made a live stream on Friday, and I called it Crazy Friday News Update. And then the big part went to the prime minister. That's the end part. And I was asking questions if Russian prime minister in any way is connected to the Chinese government, perhaps not, perhaps yes, I don't know. That's something to discuss. So if you would like, go ahead and check out. I'm going to put a link right over here. So this first part of this process, suggesting the prime minister, was done on Friday, and miraculously, in a matter of hours, the parliament discussed the candidate and voted him in. And then Vladimir Putin immediately signed the executive order. And bada bang, bada boom, Russia received the new old prime minister. Now, the next part was done on Saturday. There were quite a few candidates proposed for the positions of ministers. The doves. And there are some changes. Some old ministers were moved into the positions of vice prime ministers, and the new ministers, former governors, became the new minister candidates, and so forth. Something I will discuss later. It's not that important, okay? But the third part is being done right now. And this is the most important part, because this is the power part. And the Hawks. Again, there were quite a few surprises in the doves with the doves, but, not big ones and not that important. The most important part is the Hawks. Putin have to decide until Monday, according to the Constitution, but I'm pretty sure it's been decided already for a while. The politics is like chess. It's the game where players plan their moves in advance, and ones who plan the best and the longest, they usually win. To me personally, the intrigue was the triangle, the power, I call it the power triangle. The Ministry of Defense, the KGB, and the Secret Service, FSO. Boy, do we have some news, or what? Holy moly. Now, Nikolai Patrushev was fired. The leader of the Siloviki bloc, the unofficial head of Siloviki, the guy, I call him the Grey Cardinal of Russia, the guy on above all Siloviki agency, the guy who headed the KGB for a long time. Then he was transferred to head the council, the Security Council of Russia. That's been doing for the past 18 years, I believe. He was fired. The official reason due to being transferred to another job. But guess what? That job has not been announced. We don't know what the job is. And all good jobs in Russia right now are filled. Now, the biggest, the most important, and the news that probably could define fate of Russia is Shoigu, Sergei Shoigu, the Minister of Defense and Putin's closest friend, at least one of the closest friends, has been fired. He is officially transferred to the job that Nikolai Patrushev held until today. Sergei Shoigu has become the head of the Security Council of Russian Federation. That job is like a big title for nothing, really. That job is without resources, without power. It's just a job. Well, Dmitry Medvedev has kept the job of the deputy of the head of the Security Council. That guy, the job of a Twitter poster. Well, we'll show you the evil West, clown, that type of a job. He is the deputy of Sergei Shoigu now. But hey, there's positive in that. At least they can get together often and drink together. Drink whatever they really want now. It's not bad. The new Minister of Defense, the key person in the vertical of power of Russian Federation, and really the key person in the country is Andrei Belousov. Now, I bet if you don't follow Russian politics very closely, if you're not an expert, you probably have not heard of the guy, because I certainly have not named him many times, perhaps just a couple. Well, I'll talk later about the guy. He's quite an interesting character. But now, the head of the KGB has kept his position, his job. The head of the federal police has kept his job. The head of the Minister of Foreign Relations of Russian Federation has kept his job. The head of Justice Department, Justice Department, Justice Ministry of Justice has kept his job. The head of the Ministry of Emergency Situations has kept his job. The head of the Military Intelligence has kept his job. The head of Rosgvardia, the state police, has kept the job. And the head of FSO, the Secret Service, the president's Praetorians, has kept his job. So the only person who's lost his job is, there are two people, is Patrushev and Shoigu. Now, first of all, let's talk about the new Minister of Defense of Russian Federation. Who is Mr. Belousov? Andrei Belousov is a former vice prime minister responsible for the economy. The economic hawk, so to speak, whose job was to raise taxes and find more money to finance the war. And it looks like, as the head of the Ministry of Defense, during the war, he will have one task and one task only. And perhaps, the solution has already been prepared and is laying on Vladimir Putin's desk, awaiting for his signature, okay? So his task is to come up with a way to feed the war machine, the war more effectively, more actively, to most likely, to feed it most likely by squeezing the companies, big corporation businesses out of money, sucking them dry of money, and perhaps has something to do with taxes too. His task will be not, most likely his task will have nothing to do with the war itself, nothing to do with fighting, nothing to do with the generals, but he will have to optimize the economic work of the Ministry of Defense. He will have to invent ways to get more money for his ministry. You know, I would say that he is Mr. Gosplan. And Gosplan is planned economy. You know, I've been talking about Russian economy being conditioned, being prepared to make a big switch from being regular economy to the war economy. Well, the switch has been in the making, but slowly. What I think what's going to happen now is Belousov, once he becomes the Minister of Defense, he will become very active and he will become very resourceful. And I think that obviously Vladimir Putin is the one who proposed his candidacy. Vladimir Putin, he has complete backing of the president. It means he has unlimited hawk power over businesses now. Holy moly, that changes a lot in Russia. That's basically who Belousov is. He's his biggest achievement in the last 2 years. He was running around looking for money, but not, in the military-industrial complex, but among just regular enterprises. And he recommended big companies to come up with large amounts of billions of rubles, and he called it retrospective tax. He suggested, hey, over the 15 years, you've been making fabulous money, and now it's time to share with the government. And then he came up with 3 or 4 extra $1 billion for the Russian economy. And I guess his job is going to be something like that, but much more effective and much bigger scale, because he has direct power over companies now. What does it mean? What does this shake-up mean in general? I'm pretty sure there's going to be heaps of information, analysis and so forth by everyone. But let me try to give you my take in very, very nutshell, okay? So this shake-up means that Shoigu has lost big time. He has lost everything. He's a nobody in the vertical of power. He just had real power. He was the head of the armed forces. By the Constitution, by all the laws, he was the guy who made orders and who all generals had to listen to. Okay, now he has zilch. He has nothing. To talk about Shoigu directly, I think this is what it is. Shoigu is a close friend of Vladimir Putin from way back in the 90s. And he is a huge thief. To jail Shoigu, or to get rid of him altogether, to kick him out of the vertical of power, would be not in the Putin's ways. He doesn't do that. So instead, Shoigu is moved to the Security Council. He's made the head of Security Council, but he has nothing to steal there. Okay, because the Security Council is just, it's not even an agency. It has nothing. It's just a few people. They get together and suggest ways how to improve safety and security of Russian Federation, okay? He works with other agencies, but he doesn't have an agency on his own, has nothing to steal. Belousov, on the other hand, he can come up with money, okay? He has trust of Vladimir Putin. He has shown that he can come up with money. He is sort of an anti-crisis manager. But Shoigu, oh boy, he has lost. He's in a very vulnerable position now. Let's fast forward a few months, a year, a few months, I don't know. I hope it's not a year. I hope it's just a matter of a month. And let's say that the war is over. And everyone inside and outside Russia starts looking for answers and for people responsible. What the hell happened in Ukraine? Why did you do that? Who? And all the fingers, Vladimir Putin probably wouldn't be alive then, but everyone else would be saying, it's not us. That's Putin and Shoigu, because Shoigu gave direct orders. Shoigu's signature is on all papers. You see, it's Shoigu. He is responsible. And he needs to answer for all atrocities, for all crimes, because that's his direct responsibility. Well, it was while he was the Minister of Defense. And you know what? They will be right. Shoigu will answer. So now he's a sitting duck. He's left in the vertical of power as someone to blame in the future. The insurance policy, that's what he is. KGB is the winner big time, folks. This is crazy. KGB, that's not good. Remember Timur Ivanov, a close friend of Sergei Shoigu and his deputy, his financier, and close friend of Dmitry Peskov. He was arrested a couple weeks ago. He was charged with a bribe of $11,000. Now the bribe has miraculously grown to $11 million. Now we know, there were questions. Why? Everyone was asking, why would they arrest Ivanov? Now we know. We know it was a special operation by the KGB to keep Shoigu on the leash. I've said that before as one of the reasons, and it turned out to be true. You never know how a man who's in charge of a big army that is in a war would act when he's told that he's fired. Perhaps he takes it, easily, or perhaps not so easily. And he can give orders. And what if the generals would listen to the orders of their superior? Okay, they were sworn on the Constitution to keep to follow the orders of the Minister of Defense. So with Timur Ivanov arrested, with all the money schemes happening in the Ministry of Defense, and the KGB knows now, that is a short leash for Sergei Shoigu. Don't forget that most coups d'etats are done by armed forces of countries. But Shoigu is out. He's out of the game. He has no chance now. Well, Putin did that elegantly. I'll give it to him. The KGB won, and that is very scary. Let's look through the facade. The Hawks won. A few months ago, I made a live stream where I explained that there are hawks in Russia and there are doves. And basically, since February of 2022, the doves have been in charge. They've been trying to balance the economy. They've been trying to apply social policies to keep Russian people calm and so forth. The Ministry of Finance, the Ministry of Economic Development, the Central Bank, the Ministry of Healthcare, the Ministry of Education, they are the doves. They don't use sticks. They don't use handcuffs. They don't use guns. Okay, they try to balance the economy and the society with money. Well, they could only do so much, because in the situation where Russia is right now, there's not much you can do. I think they did fairly good job prolonging this situation of visible stability, fake stability, okay? And their goal was to last until the inauguration of the new old president. And they did that. But they've lost. They've lost because everyone understands that Russian economy, in the way that the doves have been running it, it's not sustainable. And it has started falling apart. and everyone is seeing that, okay? And it means that the hawks are pushed aside. And the doves are pushed aside. The hawks are brought in. And the KGB is the biggest, the meanest, and the strongest hawk right now, because there's always, in all times, there has been a war going on between the armed forces of Russian Federation and the KGB. You see, it's the checks and balances system of Russia, okay? It's not like in the democratic countries, okay? But Russia has a different system of checks and balances, and it's the KGB, the army, and the federal police, okay? And the KGB won, and it has won over the armed forces. Timur Ivanov is one of the key wins. KGB is the agency that executed the arrest of Timur Ivanov, and now he's prisoned in the special KGB prison. So the armed force people, they cannot get to him. The federal police cannot get to him. And it looks like the KGB is calling the shots now, and Vladimir Putin relies on the KGB. Looks like the KGB will be exerting way more power onto the army, and the army, well, it's not as strong anymore. And that's really bad for the country. That's bad for people, bad for everyone. Even for Vladimir Putin, it's extremely bad. He's trying to hang on to his power by this decision, obviously. Okay, he's pushing the army aside, and then he's bringing the KGB closer. But he's clearly has just destroyed the power balance of Russia. Who that boy will be calling when KGB will come knocking on his door to get him? Certainly not the armed forces, not anymore. Before, he would call the armed forces, and simply what would happen is tanks would come in and say, hey, KGB, hands off Putin. Now, no such luck. So, I think this is what will happen soon. The KGB will be getting more and more power over all areas of life, and they will start terror of some kind. It could be different kinds of terror, we don't know yet. My suggestion is they will start mass arrests of people who in the past supported Alexei Navalny and his political organization. Okay, we'll see about that, but that's my bet. Now, at the end, there are questions. Now, I have a couple questions, okay? Might even find answers in the coming week. But the biggest question, who is in charge of the armed forces right now? Well, Dmitry Peskov, believe it or not, he came out and he made a public commentary for Vladimir Putin on Shoigu's firing. He said that a civilian person was brought as the head of the Ministry of Defense because the Minister of Defense is not controlling the situation at the front lines. Technically, it's the head of the Chief of Staff. And that is Valery Gerasimov, okay? He's in charge. He is the one who is conducting the current offensive on Kharkov that Russian army is attempting right now, as we speak. They're killing so many Ukrainians, bombing, and tragedy. In reality, though, we have not seen Gerasimov in months. One time, when he voted for Vladimir Putin on March 17th, he did not look well. He did not look like he knew what was going on. And he was shown just a few seconds. Who is in charge of the armed forces? Who is in charge of everything in the army? You know what? Most likely, it's the KGB. And this is not good. Things will start happening, unfolding very soon, if I'm right. So, another question is, what's up with Patrushev? Patrushev has been the Grey Cardinal of the Siloviki of Russia for so long. And it's really hard for me to understand that he has disappeared. Well, he's not going to disappear. He's been fired, relieved of his duty, or, fired, basically. And then they said he's going to move to a different job. But there's no job of the magnitude of the character of Patrushev. Now, his son was the Minister of Agriculture, and he was partially responsible for a bad situation with eggs and chicken meat. He was fired, and he's made one of the vice prime ministers. And with Patrushev, the situation is not clear to me until the end. It could be that Patrushev has lost completely. Well, it happens. It's a game. They're all playing freaking chess. Only once they move, the figures, people die. Generations die. Russian future dies. But that's a game of chess, whether we like it or not. So he could have lost. Or he could have won. Clearly that Patrushev is in motion. Something is happening. I don't know, and no one knows at this point, except for Patrushev, I think, and Putin, and probably a couple more people, whether he is gaining power or he's losing power, okay? My bet is it's really hard to imagine that he's losing, he has lost. But my bet is if the KGB is beefing up, then Patrushev is in their way. Unless, of course, he is, he has ideas of heading the KGB. I remind you, Patrushev he was the head of the KGB until 2006 or 2008, something like that. So, but the thing is, the KGB has the boss. And there's no place for two bosses inside the KGB. There's got to be one boss. And looks like the current boss, he has kept his job. He has gained a great deal of power. So, I don't know. But I think something is telling me that Patrushev is the second loser of this shakeup. Folks, this is breaking news. Again, I did not have any time to prepare, to do any analysis. All I told you, I did on the go, on the fly, so to speak. Right now, I would like to turn on the live stream chat and discuss. If you have any questions, please let me know. It's going to be interesting for me to hear your opinions, and let's discuss together, okay? Because this is big. This is big. Things are moving, definitely moving. The live stream chat is on. Thank you for coming. Quite a few people today. Well, it's a very serious topic, Probably the first analysis that you've heard about the situation. There will be more experts. Actually, everyone will be coming out tomorrow morning, everyone and their brother. But I guess I'm the first today. I wasn't going to live stream, but this is big. This is breaking news. I moved everything else that I had planned. In case you're here for the first time, please know that this channel, Inside Russia, has the best community and the best moderation team that actually has helped to make this community what it is. Clean, respectable, nice. VJ John, thank you so much. Everyone, ladies, mothers, grandmothers, happy Mother's Day. I kind of forgot. I haven't been in the USA for such a long time. We do not celebrate Mother's Day here. Actually, we celebrate. It's very formal, not much celebrated. It's a different date. So, all mothers and grandmothers, happy Mother's Day. If you want me to notice your message easier, please put it in caps and put inside Russia after that sign so it appears highlighted in large orange box for me. And I see it easier. Thank you so much. Just like VJ John did and Harry Potnin and Bob S. So Lorna, Mami K, Bob S, Harry Potnin, Amir Fazad, and Dirk are the moderation team, and they're the best internet has to offer. Sam K, howdy. Bob S. Bill agreed. Medvedev would make a great minister of brewing and liquor imports. I think he'd make even a better taster. The chief of tasting of brews and liquors. Alex, hello. Pat Scully, Maltidaki, Scott, Christy, Dennis, Icinox, Jeffrey S, George Rames, Pamela RW, howdy friend, good to see you. 2 minutes to midnight, looks like everyone is here. Airborne Snail, Veronica. So any questions? Here's one from Peter. What if the Russian generals in the field tell their troops to go to Moscow? Well, Peter, this is where it gets interesting. We're gonna know soon. Let's wait until they learn. Let's wait until they get together, discuss, and we'll see what happens. John Wakamatsu from Los Angeles. Howdy, friend. Long time no see. I remember our old streams and conversations. Thank you for your support. Buy some tea and too bad for Russia, or should I say the USSR. Thank you, friend. Good to see you. Definitely will buy some tea. I've run out of the English breakfast. Friends, English only. Be nice, be polite to each other. Otherwise, this community would eject you. Anarchy, good to see you. Thank you so much. Howdy. One of the first patrons of Inside Russia is here. Anarchy, I remember you well. Thank you so much for coming back, and thanks for all this time. Auntie Scamantha, Ms. Auntie, can I say that? The Rosguardia, weaker or stronger with a stronger KGB? Neither nor. Rosguardia, Putin has two agencies that act as his Praetorians. One is direct Praetorians, the Secret Service. They're the ones who are with Putin at all the times. And the second agency, the Praetorians, are Rosguardia. In case Rosguardia is present throughout Russia. It has troops everywhere. In case there is some kind of a social disturbance, Rosguardia is to put that down, to restore order, to crack down on people. And in case someone advances on Putin, on president, on his power attempts, like Prigozhin a year ago, Rosguardia must be there to protect Putin. It's just the Secret Service is around Putin and it's small in numbers. Rosguardia is huge. Craig Savarese, howdy friend, thank you. During a handshake and reception, line of high-ranking military officers on Inauguration Day, two failed to salute His Highness. Any hidden meaning? Yes, I made a big deal out of it. It's actually huge. It's in the Friday crazy news update, and that's probably one of the craziest news of last year's. I have not seen anything like that in the previous parades. It's, everyone salutes him, smiles, shakes his hand. Two key military commanders did not salute him. They must salute him according to the military code of Russian Federation. They actually committed a crime. As far as I know, well, we'll see what happens to them. So far, nothing. But yes, you are so right, Craig. That is a huge deal. Huge, huge. And it's not hidden message. It's out there for everyone to see. For all armed forces. I'm pretty sure that all people, the generals, the colonels, and so forth, have been discussing that. So that's a sign. RW sponsor for 25 months. Thank you so much, friend. Time for Undead Prigozhin to make his move. Yeah, I'm opening a new jar of popcorn and melting some fresh charred butter to watch this one. My friend, thank you so much for saying that you're right on. Someone told me spot on is not the right word in English, but you're right on. Right on, right on. Read my lips, right on. I'm having my popcorn right here. Oh boy. Isinox from Romania, howdy. Is the KGB less interested in this war? I think so. Is it possible to see a change in the scope of this war? I think so. P.S. Bought kvass from the Ukraine today. It's amazing. Good, send me some. Now the KGB is interested not in the war, but in keeping the power. Keeping the power as hard as possible for as long as possible, okay? If they could stop the war and somehow make amends with the West, so the West would lift up the sanctions from personalities. They don't need just from a few people, and blame everything on Putin and on Shoigu. Now they can blame everything on Shoigu and, of course, on his deputy, Timur Ivanov. Look at that thief. It's been proven he was caught red-handed taking a bribe of $11 million. And I'm going to show it to every single person in Russia. Look, this is the face of the one who is responsible. They lied to us. They lied what was going on in Ukraine. They made wrong orders. And this is, blame game possibilities are endless. This is, unfortunately, the game of political chess. KG1, good to see you. Troops welfare, provisions, ammunitions, etc. All at further risk if an economist is in charge. I don't think anyone can do worse job than Shoigu and Timur Ivanov did. I think anyone is going to be better than them, okay? I don't think that all that stuff is at more risk, further risk, if an economist is in charge. First of all, I don't think that the economist will be in charge of procurement, because that's a different department. He's going to be in charge of going out to the military-industrial complex and pressing them, making them work more for less money. Extracting money out of them. This is what I think. He's in charge. He's going to be in charge, going to the parliament saying, hey, we need new laws that oblige people to work more, something like that. That's what his main job is, So that's what I think. Alex Witter, thank you so much. Just got here. Putin actually fired him. Yes, he did. Well, he transferred him to a different job, but that job is just a title, He's lost his power. He's lost his resources. He's lost everything. Now he's a sitting duck. I'm sure he will be blamed at one point or another, sooner or later. But at least now there's a very good person to blame. Oh, Who's guilty? Of course, it's the Minister of Defense of the time. Of course, look, his signature is everywhere. So thank you for coming, Alex. And Crusader Damien with the best questions and statements. Howdy, friend. This has happened many times before. Is Black Swan warming up? I hope so. KGB was never dismantled, and they have come home to roost. This is the reckoning for Russia. KGB was never dismantled. That's true, and that was a big mistake. But KGB was weakened to the point, I remember, when I was going to school, to the university. It was such an unprestigious job. No one would even consider joining the KGB. It didn't pay well. It was not prestigious. Only the most dumbest, stupidest people would join, and they couldn't go anywhere else. That was early to mid-90s. Then, they started getting stronger and stronger, and see what happened. Caesars. Howdy, friend. Harder. Did you mean harder? Harder? Well, thank you. Good to see you. Thanks for your support. Jekyll Ann, all the way from Australia. I like your message. Good to see you. Long time no see. Thank you, friend. Thank you. Things are happening in Russia, huh? Moving. I think they're moving into... For Russia, I don't know. But for Ukraine, definitely in a better direction because, hey, remember I've told so many times, I believe that the win for Ukraine will not come from the front lines. It will come from inside Russia, from within inside Russia. So let's see where these changes will bring us to. Next week is going to be fire. Old Warrior, howdy friend. You seem, instead of FSB, they're interchangeable. Of how different to be using. Well, that's FSB, but that's just a different name. They're not interchangeable. It's the same thing. I call them the KGB because that's what they are in the past. That's what they were in the past. They used to be a committee of state safety, and now they're called Federal Security Bureau. That's the same thing. So again, Old Warrior, Jekyll, Caesars, Crusader Damien, Alex Witter, KG1, thank you. Jess Terry, just saw your sponsor for 21 months. Thank you so very much for nice words. I always hear good words and read nice comments from you. Thank you, friend. Stuff to consider. Will Putin be isolated eventually? Yes, of course. Yes. Just not one dictator in the history of humankind ended up ruling forever, Icinox, again, thank you so much. RW, VJ John, thank you so much for asking everyone to hit the like button. Craig Saravisi, Anarchy, and John Wakamatsu, thank you, friends. Okay, let's see what's up in the chat. Scott Tremblay, good to see you. Konstantin, the recent Russian offensive in Kharkiv region has been very active. Do you think that FSB pressure on Russian families is behind the new push? No, I don't think so. That's just too much work for them. I think that first of all, the offensive has been very active, but has it been successful? It's been going on for 2 days, and so far, from what I understand, they have taken anything significant. They have not pushed just a tiny little bit. There's also a balance between how many lives lost and how far they advance. So from what I understand, it hasn't been successful. And I don't think that FSB is behind it. That's not their job, and at least yet. How will we know for sure that Putin is actually taken out, or will his fake stand-in seem to be running Russia for a while? That we don't know. My biggest thought is that if the fella who's in Kremlin right now, if he gives up power, saying, hey, I'm retiring in the next few months, that's definitely double, because the real Putin will never give up power. That's what he lives for. That's what he has been building his vertical of power to successfully be kept on top. Okay, and then he's not gonna give up. So if he's not giving up, then that's real him. If he's not stepping down, that's real him. If he says, I step down, resign, that's a double. That's how we know. That's how I know, at least. Alex Witter, thank you again. Old Warrior, that's a real... What is the real difference between the KGB and FSB? They serve the same job. No. GRU is absolutely different. KGB and FSB, it's not two different agencies. It's the same. It's just different names. I'm calling it, always call it by its old name, the KGB. You call it whatever you want. I don't know. RW, thank you for sponsoring 10 people. My friend, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Crusader Damien, by recording, I mean a direct confrontation between the Russian armed forces and the KGB. There's no love lost between two of them. Civil war. Well, look, question too early to answer. Possibility, yes. Will it happen soon? I don't know. But I definitely, will keep you posted. By the way, if you want to know what really happens every day in Russia, sign up to become patron of Inside Russia, because for patrons and for sponsors, I do 9 news every single day, like update on what is happening. And the next week will be fire, my friends. Perhaps not just the next week, but the weeks to come, because it has begun. Economically, holy schmoly, everything is falling apart. Politically, you're seeing what's happening. Major storm. Not just underneath, what's submerged. We're seeing what's above, the little part that is above the water. We're seeing it right now. It's big changes. Kay Liddington, thank you so very much from the UK. Cheers. This is not the English breakfast tea. I've run out of it, but that's what I usually drink. Midnight in Tashkent. So the Minister of Defense has been replaced, asking Michel de Rome. Yes, he's been transferred to a different job. Reed fired. There's a new guy, and the guy was in charge of stealing money from big companies, big corporations. Werner, Heiko Henning, I'm sorry, it's a difficult name for me. What about Kadyrov? He's keeping quiet. What about him? He's in charge of Chechnya. He's gonna be hanging on to his power for as long as possible. But we'll be hearing things very soon. VJ John, meltdown from within is around the corner. I think so too. I think things, well, perhaps not a meltdown, but a big change. Things are changing. For Russia, most likely this change is not going to be good. For Ukraine, most likely it'll be good. Alex Witter, thank you again. My apologies, the KGB has changed names so many times over the 80 years of the USSR. I assumed GRU was one of the names. No. GRU is the military reconnaissance, abroad reconnaissance. That's a completely different agency. And it's in war with KGB, by the way. It's always been in war. Great Southern Land, thank you so much. Would Shoigu have the brains to go west? Of course not. It's not like he has brains. I mean, who would let him? And then, well, imagine he makes it to one of the Western countries. Where will he end up in the next day or so? In The Hague? I think so. So I think that he has brains not to go west. And no one's going to let him to go west anyway. Okay, looks like I haven't missed anyone. Terry, why would Putin be afraid of KGB? Putin is an old, weak guy. His strength is in others supporting him, other agencies. His job is to keep the balance. He has so many agencies around him, if any agency wants to stage a coup, his job to have help from other agencies. For example, when Prigozhin announced on the 24th or 25th, we are going to Moscow to take the Kremlin, to topple Putin, to strip him of power, that was Putin's... Putin depended on the KGB, on the army, who would stand up and say, hey, no, we're going to fight, we're going to kill you for a president, okay? That's why if one of the agencies becomes too big and devours all other agencies, the next thing they're going to remove Putin and place own men in charge. That's why he is afraid. Not just the KGB. He would be afraid of... I mean, this is like political 101, politics 101. If you have the balance, then different, like in the United States, you have 3 branches and there's a balance. Imagine if there's one branch, what's going to happen? Who is in charge of that branch is going to usurp power in the United States, and it's going to be, it will cease to be a democracy, okay? That's it. So same thing with Putin. He is the master of balance. KGB becomes too big and makes a move on him, and it would make a move if, sooner or later. Then there's no one to bail him out. That's basically answering your question. Thank you, Ron. Thank you so much. Pavel Gomelsky, which Siloviki faction is currently the strongest? Well, it's always the army. Plain and simple. The army has more people, more equipment, armor, planes, But now it looks like KGB is stronger than the army, because KGB has managed to topple the leadership of the army. Who is in charge now? I'm pretty sure that they're monitoring all the generals, just in case. But there's no leader. There's no minister of defense. This guy, this civilian guy, who is he in the army? Like nobody. Desidero, funny. The United States takes pride in agencies following the directives of the president. Not really. The Supreme Court does not follow anything. The Parliament does not follow the orders of the president. No. There's a balance in the United States. That's why the United States stays the United States, okay? Once the agencies will start taking directives of the president will become dictator very, very fast. Okay, any president. And we are not discussing the U.S. politics here, please. This is inside Russia, friends. Don't stir me into that direction, okay? We have a strict policy on that. I'm not an expert, and I don't discuss U.S. politics. If you want to learn about Russia, you come here. You want to learn about U.S. politics, come someplace, other place. Go other place. KG1, Putin obviously worried about cost of war and how much longer it can be. KG1, I've been talking about every single day. I said and over and over and over again, it's falling apart. It's the tsunami. They're sugarcoating for 6 months before the election. It's over. Look what's happening now. If everything was going according to the plan, if everything was fine, Putin would keep all the people in their places. Why change them, right? Right? Not sustainable. Moreover, the facade is nice and painted. What's behind the facade? I think it's rotten. I know it's rotten, you know. Carson Larimore, howdy, was hoping Shoigu would stay in his position. He was not a military man when he started. I'm sure many would agree he's incompetent. Well, I tell you what, he's incompetent. My friends actually know Shoigu personally. When he worked at Sayanogorsk aluminum smelter, he was in charge of, it was just like warehouses, things like that, you know, civic construction. They said there was like a good guy. He liked to go and have fun fishing and go to saunas with friends, drinking. Oh yeah, he was drinking a lot. And he's definitely not a military man, and he's incompetent. But this guy who replaced him, he's even more not military man than Shoigu, if you know what I mean. At least Shoigu was in charge of the Ministry of Emergency Situations for like years and years and years. This guy is like so far from the military that it's not even funny. It's good. I like it. I'm not sure if Lorna can see your super chat, Ron, but I'm not seeing it myself. Oh yeah, there you go. Ron. Yeah, I'm seeing your super chat. Thank you so much. Sam K, Mr. Putin's #1 tank army was created on $500 budget. Well, I think in reality they spent $500, but on paper, Russian taxpayers spent like $50 billion, perhaps, you know. Where's the difference? Go and ask Timur Ivanov. Bilger Smith, thank you so much. Is Vasilievich Bortnikov now the most powerful man in Russia then? Not sure about that, but he's become a great deal more powerful. I'm not sure he's the most powerful man in Russia. No, let's wait. The news I'm waiting for right now is what's up with Patrushev. Because like I said at the end of the stream, Patrushev is in motion right now. But we don't know whether it's good for him or bad for him. Has he lost or has he won? If this entire situation has been architected by Patrushev, then holy moly, he is probably the most powerful man. I doubt that, but let's wait and see. His next job, his next position, his next moves, Putin's next moves, probably in the upcoming days will show everything. Oh, not everything. Probably will show a lot. Caesars, thank you again. Okay, question. The recent appointments are people of the economic background. What does it tell us after Siloviki riding the wave in the past 8 years? I'm not sure which people you're talking about. Siloviki are still riding the wave in the past 8 years. Who are you talking about? Recent appointments, people of the economic background. That's Siloviki, as good as it gets, you know, for them. So please specify. I'm not sure. I understand the question. Comrade, NG Comrade, the powers over army have been transferred to Shoigu's new position. According to Russian media, it seems Belousov will only have control over the army's finances and military industry. What's your source, Comrade? Let me know where you saw that. As American, I come to Konstantin for the real deal news in Russia. Tony Z, thank you so much, friend. I appreciate it very much. Hopefully, well, I hope I am not letting you down. JV, thank you so much. What about Lavrov? Where is he? He has kept his job. I mentioned it earlier. Lavrov is, he is the voice of Russia abroad, and then there's no one to replace him with, and there's no need at this point, from what I understand. Miss ZZ, not just blaming Shoigu, Patrushev could also carry the can for Crimea to all Ukrainians and all the murders from Litvinenko to Navalny. I doubt it. Patrushev is much better target for that than Patrushev. Uri, howdy, good to see you. I just remembered something about you, kind of slipped my mind. All right, I'm gonna write it down. It's been a long time. No, Alice, the KGB will not lead the military. There's no need for that. There's no legislation for that. They can puppet, well, in some ways, okay, to some extent, but they will not lead military. That would be an open coup, probably not supported by anyone. There are much smarter ways, MUC, in your opinion, how long will this war last? Don't know. Do you see an end game coming? I pray for it every single day. I ask everyone to pray for it with me, and many people do. I don't know. I hope that it ends as soon as possible, the bloodshed ends, but it's still going on. And I mean, look at now what Russia is doing. Bombing the heck out of Ukrainian cities and villages and towns and trying to advance, okay? I don't know. I hope it will not last long. There are different opinions on that. Some people expect to last very long time. Some people don't. I don't know. Michael Kramkuller, thank you so much. You're from Sweden. Sending my love to Sweden. Thank you. Again, comrade, please reveal your source where you heard that the army powers have been transferred to Shoigu. It's impossible. They're using Wagner again in the North assault. And on Dorsch, I have to check. I have not heard of it. Shoigu will get a cup of tea in a window view. Bilger Smythe. You know what? There's a possibility of that. I think I know what you mean, and there's a possibility of that. But I think they need him alive because he's just a great target for blaming everything on him. Comrade Tass said on their Telegram channel that Shoigu will keep control over the army. And now let me check. Hang on. How could he? And why would they replace him then? I'm looking at the TASS Telegram channel. Hang on. It's the official channel. No, it does not say anywhere. Okay, I see some news about Shoigu. Hang on. No. They're just telling what Shoigu has done for the army, being minister. No. You are wrong, my friend. TASS did not say anything about Shoigu keeping his powers and controlling the army in a new position. No. At least I have not seen it. Alex, welcome to Inside Russia. Good to see you. Thank you so much. I'm sorry that I do not answer all the questions. There's so many people in the live stream chat, and then there's just so many questions. I answer those that, I see. James Gum, so Shoigu now can look forward to either a cup of tea open window or being a fall guy. What are the odds he flees before that? He hasn't... Where? Where would Shoigu flee to? To his home province of Tiva? I don't think so. Shoigu has nowhere to go. And you know what? Most of these people in Moscow have nowhere to go. And they know that. And I told you, right when they started that war, that's it. They have burned all the bridges. Okay? They can try to negotiate by bringing the power to, ending the dictatorship in Russia, bringing the power, saying, hey, we're going to change Russia into something good, negotiate with us. But they certainly have nowhere to run. Crusader Damien again, thank you. Z visiting France and some European Union countries, slap in the face of Russia for trying to drive wedge between Europa and the United States. Xi Jinping is the key to Russian collapse. And you know what? I agree with you. You are absolutely right. And that was a significant event. Notice the timing. Right before the inauguration of Vladimir Putin. A slap in the face. I translate into plain English. Caesars, Shoigu should replace Patrushev. He has replaced. Yes. Caesars, that's where I started the stream with. He has replaced Patrushev. Patrushev has been transferred to a different job, and Vladimir Putin will announce it sooner or later. Well, Peskov is saying that Putin will announce soon, most likely tomorrow. Because Patrushev is up in the air, and it's not, we'll see. I just don't see the job significant enough for Patrushev, okay? The head of the KGB, possibly. The Minister of Defense, yes, definitely. But what else? Firepower. Could he go to Cuba? Nice holiday. No. Why would he go to Cuba? Why would Cubans accept him? I mean, he is in a prison cell. Perhaps it has golden bars, but it's still a prison cell. Folks, forget about this idea of these Russian criminals running, fleeing someplace. No one will accept them because they are toxic. They're radioactive, okay? No, and no. Just don't make any ideas even. Larry Barth, howdy, good to see you. Deborah, do you think Shoigu firing come from Putin or... that I don't know. There's a game being played right now. It could even come from Patrushev, to be honest with you, but I don't know at this point. Putin made a decision, but FSB either has been used as a tool or has exerted some significant power over his firing. Either way, but that was just, we don't know, and we would be speculating. Could knowing this and coming shuffle be why Putin looked so desperate at his inauguration? That is a possibility. That I can tell you now that we don't know, but something is odd. Something is not right. Okay, but I think it's going to be easy to find out. I just need more information. I need to understand how people act in the coming days. I need who goes where, what positions. I need to know. I need more details, and I'll give you a big picture. So keep on coming in. Why is Navalny forgotten so soon in Russia? Will there be another Navalny? Well, there's Sigil Gambia. You know, Russia is the country where everything and everyone is forgotten the next day. And Navalny is forgotten. You're right. Moreover, soon I'll come up with a list of things or people or actions or crimes that have been forgotten in Russia. And you'll be amazed. I'll remind you some names and events. Will there be another Navalny? There's not one on the horizon. That I can tell you that. Caesars, not enough jobs for all friends, I see. Yes, you're right. Right on. Michael, thank you again. Does the Communist Party still have some power? Zilch. None of the parties presented in the parliament have any power whatsoever. Vladimir Putin has created a system where there's no political competition. But there's got to be a facade for multi-political partiness. So they exist, but give me a break. The head of the party, not the head, the guy who was nominated by the Communist Party to run against Vladimir Putin officially said, I want Putin to win. What else we talking about? Craig Savarese, thank you again. Once Putin is gone, will the new regime be able to prevent the federation's breakup? That's too early to say. The things could go in so many different ways. We just don't know. It's possible that the new regime will be able to prevent federation's breakup. It's possible. It's possible that there will be no new regime, but somehow miraculously Russia will become better. Also possible, probably not, but possible. Okay, so Mohammed, thank you so much from the UK. Mohammed Kairan, Patrushev's own promotion from agriculture minister where he was unsuccessful. For example, eggs and sugar shortages, to deputy prime minister suggests Patrushev has retained his power. Not so fast. Which clique clan fiction has gained the most? The shuffle. Good question. I see that you know a thing or two about Russian politics. His son had real power at the Ministry of Agriculture because minister who has agency behind him has power. At least power to milk the agency. That's what the ministers do. Power he exerted onto the agriculture enterprises. Okay, and he did do a lousy job. Okay, but from what I understand, there has been agreement made long time ago. There's been agreement for a long time existing that he would become one of the deputy prime minister. It's called the vice prime minister. He's lost a great deal of power by. It's not a promotion. Okay. what would be considered, at least what I would consider his gaining strength, is to remain the Minister of Agriculture after he did such a lousy job. That would be real power. Okay. Which clique, clan, faction has gained the most in the shuffle? I have to look more closely to the doves, and I will answer your question in one of the upcoming streams and in one of the upcoming days. But a very good question. Thank you so much. Right off my head, let me see. I don't know. Looks like Kovalchuk clan, Kovalchuki, they have lost their army. Anyway, I need more information. I need more time to think. Okay, so but excellent stuff. Joe's Reims in Scott's brother memory. I'm not sure what you mean. Somebody died. Pavel Gomelsky, thank you. Is Patrushev the next Tsar of Russia? Something is telling me he will not want to wait for 6 years. Look, like I said, Patrushev's situation is not clear at this point. He's definitely moving, but we don't know whether he's moving up or he's moving down. Let's wait for the job announcement, and most important, what resources the new job will give him. Because always look for what kind of resources you're getting with a new appointment. Like look at Shoigu, he's lost such a huge deal of available resources. He's lost everything. Control of the armed forces, he's lost the financial streams, he's lost pretty much everything he had. So let's wait until Patrushev appears on the surface. Where is he? What job? Why Putin hasn't announced his job? Is it still being decided, or it has been decided for some time? Does he know his job? Does Patrushev know where he is going to? Or perhaps, Putin is still deciding. So there's so many questions right now. Norman Joe, like I said, I don't know. I hope the bloodshed will end soon. I pray for it every day. And I invite and I ask everyone to pray along with me. I don't know. Friends, I'll be wrapping up. Let me just see if I mentioned all the super chats and questions. Pavel, Joe's Reims, Craig Savarizi, Mohammed, Michael, Caesars, Jeffrey S. Thank you for sponsoring one person with sponsorship, gifting one person with sponsorship. It's been quite a journey. 23 months. Joe's Reims, thank you so much. You are a pillar of Inside Russia officially. Caesars, Crusader Damien, Alex, new member, Michael, MUC, Caesars, Carson Larrymore, KG1, Pavel, Gomelsky again. Some old dude, good to see you. Changes on the way, better get my popcorn ready. Oh yes, have it right next to you. Ron Klotzer, thank you. Sam K, Alex Witter, Great Southern Land, K. Liddington, Crusader Damien, RW, Alex Witter again, Old Warrior, Jekyll N, Caesars, Crusader Damien, Alex Witter, Just Terry, KG1, Stuff to consider. Isinox, RW, VJ John, Craig again, and Anarchy. Thank you, friends. And John Wakamatsu, thank you so much. Let me take the last question, and I will invite everyone to pray along with me. Very good question from Firepower. If his replacement seems to lack power, does that mean that generals would be in the driving seat? We don't know yet, because the question is still open to me. Who is in charge of armed forces? Okay, is it Gerasimov? Is it Surovikin is back, perhaps? We don't know, okay? And then there are so many ifs. I need some answers. I need to find out small details, and I promise I will paint the big picture for you, okay? How many do you think in Russia who understand that the economy will go to waste percentage of the people? Not too many. I'm surprised, I'm shocked, but people don't understand where they're heading at. It's like they're on Titanic and they're heading straight to the iceberg, and they just fail to notice the iceberg. They're acting as if nothing is happening. Everything is going to be fine. Jeffrey, I'm not a peach, but thank you. Thank you so much. Again, happy Mother's Day, everyone, all mothers and grandmothers. Fantastic to see. Okay, I see. May he rest in peace, Scott, right? I'm so very sorry. My friends, I thank you so much for coming. This is breaking news. There's going to be lots of analysis on my side, and most likely I will talk in more details of the situation that has happened today. Tomorrow in my last stream, in my live stream. It's been a long day, sorry. I hope it's not going to be my last stream. Thank you so much, mods, for coming and helping. This is an unusual stream, obviously, and it's a longer one, longer than usual. I invite everyone, 6,300 people right now, which is awesome. Thank you for coming. I invite everyone to pray with me. If you're religious, if you're not, you can call it whatever you like. Send good vibes, good wishes, good energy to people. Pray to universe, anything works that works for you. To me, it's all the same. So I want to make a different prayer today. So I'm inviting everyone to pray along with me. Thank you. Let's do it. Dear Lord Jesus Christ, thank you so much for giving us this week and this day. Thank you for putting food on our tables and giving roofs over our heads. Thank you for surrounding us with people who we love and who love us. Please give us wisdom to keep the skies above our children's heads safe, peaceful, clear. Give us wisdom to raise our children in a way that when they grow up, they will never fight in any wars, only love each other, and make this world a better place. For now, dear Lord, please keep our children safe and healthy as they are our life and our world. Dear Lord, please help stop the bloodshed in Ukraine. Help bring peace to the country. Help every single Ukrainian who has suffered. Answer their prayers and make their wishes come true. Reach out and touch the hearts and souls of people responsible for this mess, for the bloodshed, and responsible for making decision to stop the bloodshed. Fill their hearts with love. Remind them that they're still human beings. wake them up from their lethargic sleep. They've been sleeping. So they wake up and make the decision to stop the bloodshed. I'm also asking for my country, please help Russia. Dear Lord, assemble the army of the strongest angels with sharpest swords, led by Saint Michael, and send them like heavenly avalanche onto this earth to get rid of the demons that have hijacked my country, who we know by their names and by their faces. Please have angels help good Russians run the country, make it peaceful, loving, and respecting again. Please help those who are traveling, send them safe travels. Those who are in danger or in trouble, send help. Help single mothers who are in need of your help and support, who are struggling to make ends meet, raising their children. Please help everyone who's running away from danger. Help those who are sick, the homeless, the jobless, the hungry, the depressed, losing their faith, not feeling well about themselves, not feeling well about the world around them. The ones who are betrayed and feeling lonely and alone in this world. Dear Lord, please help everyone who is in need of your help. Fill everyone's heart with your love and have them feel that you're right next to them, helping, watching every step they take. And you haven't left them and you're not leaving. Please have them feel your love. Your love is a cure that helps everyone. And people feel so much better when they feel that you're with them on their side. Dear Lord, please bless everyone who is helping Ukrainians, and please help Ukrainian people right now who are under the attacks of Russian armed forces. Send everyone an angel to help to send safety, to avert all the missiles and bombs, and please help them. Dear Lord, thank you so much for allowing us to come together and pray. Thank you for everyone who is praying along with me right now, or simply watching us pray. Bless everyone here in this live stream, in this community, in this prayer, and answer everyone's prayer and make everyone's wish come true. Dear Lord, please help everyone who has reached out and asked to be placed on a prayer list. You know their names and their needs and their wishes and their pains much better than I do. Please help everyone. I am asking today for 2 members of our community who passed away. For Scott and Brianna, please have them next to you where they are right now, and have them rest in peace. Help everyone who needs your help. Bless everyone, answer everyone's prayer, and make everyone's wish come true. Thank you so much, dear Lord Jesus Christ. Amen. Friends, thank you for coming. This has been an unusual stream. Just like we all thought, well, most of us, a lot of us thought that things would start happening right after Vladimir Putin is inaugurated for the 5th time. And, we were right. Things have started happening. And we're going to be seeing lots of changes. We have been waiting for the changes for over 2 years now. Welcome to the brave new world, to the new Russia, where the changes will be plentiful. Please come back tomorrow. I'll have another stream, and I hope that it will be helpful. educational, and informative. Thank you so much. I would like to remind you that you are absolutely awesome and you rock. And before I sign off, I'm asking everyone to say along with me the usual, as loud as you can, Carthago delenda est.